Hi, I'm Edward, and I'm CEO of Assisti. Today, I want to show you a little bit about how Assisti can help you, especially if you're a vibe coder like myself, debug your code once the AI no longer understands what is happening anymore. It's always been true that debugging has taken up most of our time when it comes to code. And I think that now, with super powerful LLM models that are able to create hundreds of lines of code in minutes, that's never been more true, as all we're doing is dealing with the bugs. AI is great at understanding some of the bugs, but when it comes to the harder bugs, a deeper level of understanding is needed. And that's where we come in with Assisti. We've got a semantic search when you might not know exactly how those function names have been named. So, for example, here I'm going to ask, where are the. I'm looking for where our search results are passed from VS Code to the front end. And yeah, this first result is exactly right. What I was looking for apparently is do search. We also have automatic documentation. So if I head over here to the documentation tab and I activate the sticky menu, then I'm going to see documentation for this file. This will give me a quick overview of what the file does, but it'll also give me an explanation for each function. This is a great way to navigate through my folder, but I can also, if I want to navigate through the folder this way and hover over functions, quickly find out what each function does in a kind of more easy to read and clear way. All right, so those are the basic functions for Assisti. We're gonna first have a look at how to install Assisti. It's super easy, just takes a few minutes, and then we're gonna take a little bit more in-depth look at how to use it. Simple. Getting started with Assisti is super simple. Just head over to your extensions marketplace in VS Code or whatever VS Code fork you're using. Right here, I've got cursor, and just type in assist and with an extra I, and you should find us as Assisti. Here you can download us, and once we're installed, go ahead to the login page, just click register your name, and type in my password. And that's it. Now I'm registered. Make sure you have a repo open, and then just make any change. For the tool to get started, it needs to detect the change. Now the indexing process is started. Right here you see process 2 out of 9 batches, and then behind that you're going to see the progress bar. Give that a few minutes, and then I'll get right back to you. All right. So that took about 5 minutes, and there we go. Now the repo has been completely indexed. We can go ahead and right away and search or do an AI search. In this case, I want to find out where is the find the references function. All right, perfect. Find references. That's what I'm looking for. Or we can head over to our documentation to get started right away and kind of dive deeper into what the different files are and all the different functions. Here's a good example of a document that I haven't visited in a while. So just to kind of run through it and check it out, let's see this documentation. It manages the display of documentation content within the application, right? It listens to changes, fetches corresponding documentation from a backend service, and handles scenarios where documentation is unavailable. Perfect. So I haven't been here for a while, so I want to check out the different functions. So let me just quickly hover over each function to get a better understanding of what they do. Enables and disables automatic documentation fetching. Sure, that's fine. Gets the current auto documentation enabled state. Yeah, gets the current active file. I think these are pretty obvious. Gets the current documentation content, returning the pin content. Yeah. So already I'm seeing that a lot of these files, a lot of these functions, some of these seem a bit unnecessary, or maybe like they could be combined. So that's something I'm going to look into. Automatically detect repository information from the file path, right? And I'm not even sure I use a lot of these functions anymore. So this is a really good example of how I use Assisti myself to kind of understand, refresh on the file is doing, what the different functions are supposed to be doing, and try to understand, like, does this make any sense? Does this kind of way the document is formatted make any sense? So I think I wanted to kind of dive a bit deeper in handle active file change, right? So if I want to go to that function, I can just click here, or I can click on the find references. And if I want to see what that function is being used, I can also just click on the find references as well. Let's take a look at what parameters are being used for this file, what it returns. Observable that emits documentation content or placeholder if documentation is not available, right? And it's always nice to look at the notes. Uses get repository file to determine the repository associated with the file, fetches documentation. Yeah. So I think that gives me a pretty good overview of this function, and this will really help me kind of figure out what my next question will be to the AI cursor. I think my next step is cleaning this file up a little bit. It seems like I've got a lot of functions that could be combined or that do, similar things. So I think that's the next step for me. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I think that gives a pretty good quick overview of what Assisti does. Yeah, check it out. It's free for the first repo, and we're adding new features every few weeks. So yeah, super cool stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. See you around.